This is my review of My Hero Academia, Chapter 235, Tenko Shimura Origins. And like I theorized last week, his father is an abusive ass with mommy issues. So that's pretty depressing. I mean, all this kid wants, all this quirkless 5-year-old wants is to be a hero, to help people, to be nice to others and have them look up to him. Yeah, he doesn't have a quirk, and his father's like, oh, I'm just doing this because he doesn't have a quirk. I'm saving him from misery. But at the same time, he's dealing with some serious mommy issues because, his mom abandoned him to go fight All For One, who is, I'm assuming, currently watching the family as we speak. I can't say for certain he got the quirk from All For One, but seems likely. I think the whole allergies, the scratching, irritation thing is his body trying to reject the quirk in a way. I'm not sure, though. I mean, it's been said before that all quirks develop by the age of 4, so this is definitely something different. But anyway, moving on. So he wants to be a hero, and the whole family's like, you can't do it, I'm sorry, no. As he says, but the household my father had built rejected me kindly. Which is honestly one of the saddest lines I've ever had to read in my entire life. And then we see sweet old Hannah, who, quite frankly, I blame for all of this. I know that might seem mean to blame an 8-year-old girl, but yes, I blame her for literally all of this happening. I mean, she even goes as far as to show him the secret photo of their grandma, the legendary hero, and then say, don't worry, Daddy, whatever Daddy might say, I'm still on your side. We'll be brothers, sisters, heroes together. We'll keep it a secret from Daddy. It's going to be okay. I'm always going to be here for you. And then literally 2 panels later, she's like, no, he went in the office. I had nothing to do with it. He forced me. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, yes, I get it. You're afraid of your dad because he is a terrifying monster. You have a right to be afraid of him. But to turn on your brother like that, the brother you love, the brother who literally only has you who believes in him, yeah, you're the reason all this happened. You're the reason thousands of people are going to die because of you, Hannah, because of you. Again, she's 8 years old. Can't entirely blame her, but I do. I quite honestly think if she had stayed inside right here and then, if she had said, I'm sorry, if she had gone up to him afterwards and I'm sorry, if she had, not turned on him like this and said, it's my fault, don't blame him. But she didn't. She betrayed him. She literally tried to completely throw him under the bus in order to save herself, which resulted in his father beating him mercilessly, while the rest of his family just kind of stayed there and watched. I mean, they said, stop, don't do it, but as he said, don't just watch, somebody save me. Why are there no heroes here? Why is no one coming to my rescue? And he's got a love little rant his father goes on. That wasn't your grandmother in the picture, that was a monster who abandoned her child. I mean, seriously, dude, you're in your 30s or 40s. Get over your mommy issues. That does not give you a right to beat your son like this. This household was the one my father built, which just really emphasizes everything he's gone through. I mean, the reason no one's stepping in, the reason no one's doing anything is because this is his father's house. He built it for his mother, for his in-laws. He built it for them, and they can't speak against him while they're in the house, while they're in his house. And he does show some levels of guilt over this, saying, yep, I went too far. I'm sure if, Shigaraki had murdered him that night, he would have apologized, he would have talked with his son, he would have found a way to move forward, but no, he did not. So, yeah. Now we got poor, sweet Tenko crying his eyes out while he's hugging his dog, who... This poor dog. It's definitely gonna die. I'm fairly certain we already saw it in the flashback, but he's literally his only friend right now. He's holding him close, he's hugging him, he's giving him the support he needs, and yet it's completely obvious that Tenko is about to turn him into dust. Honestly, part of me really wants them just to skip back ahead to the main battle next chapter and just leave everything that happened here ambivalent, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to see that dog be murdered, and then he's somehow going to go murder the rest of his family. Yeah, how exactly that happens, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, there's a few issues with all this. I mean, first off, if any one of his family members saw him literally turn one of the others into dust, I feel like they would run away. And they're mostly adults, so they could get away pretty quickly while he's just a child chasing after them. It's not like he could catch them. I mean, he would literally need to go out of his way to find a way to murder each of them one by one. I'm just not sure how he could have done that. I mean, like, now his quirk has evolved where he can, like, spread it through the ground to affect people, but I really don't think it would have been that powerful when it first happened, when it first activated, so really not sure how that might have worked. Also, the hands. What the freak is the deal with the hands? I mean, the guy's like, the hands are the only thing that survived. Why? How in God's name would hands survive while the rest of the body literally just turned to ash? I mean, I theorized maybe, okay, maybe this doesn't work on hands, but he made it work on Reed Destro's hand with only 3 fingers touching it, so that doesn't make any sense either. There are issues with this story. I'm not saying they're plot holes or anything, but there are issues with it. And it's really leading me to believe that All For One may have played a role in everything that happened here. I mean, for one thing, you would have had to find out about this quickly enough to go back and get all the hands, which is interesting. But I do think it would further enhance the storyline, the similarities that are rising between Deku and Shigaraki. I mean, they're both quirkless losers who were told again and again, you can't be a hero, you can't be a hero. And that's all they wanted. They wanted to stand up and protect people. They wanted to be a hero. That's it. And if it turns out that All For One, you know, changed his life, gave him the power he needed to stand up and be someone that mattered, that would really, you know, mirror what happened with All Might, giving Deku the power to stand up and be someone who mattered, be someone who made a difference. I mean, they're literally turning out to be mirror images of each other. Honestly, at this point, I expect Deku's dad to show up one day and be an abusive, alcoholic drunk. Which would be... oh my god, that'd be so interesting. I know I said that would be sad. That would actually be really interesting. I mean, this is a man who they have yet to mention the entire series, so he's either dead or he's not in the picture at all. I mean, I could certainly see Deku mentioning, oh, I even wrote a letter to my father telling him I got into UA, or my father sent me a letter congratulating me on being in the sports festival, but there has been no mention of him. He's either completely dead, or he was such an abusive monster that Deku's mother just had to leave him behind, and literally is on the run from him even now. I mean, I think that would be an absolutely amazing storyline. But, moving on, a few other things in this chapter I really liked. His quirk activating for the first time. It's incredibly subtle, and I really like that. I mean, you see him try to throw the ball, and all of a sudden his hand starts, like, hurting, like shaking almost. And if you look closely, very closely, it's very subtle, I really like that, at the ball, you can see part of it is breaking apart. I mean, I literally had to zoom in to see this, but it's such a nice little detail. This is the first time his quirk activated. The first time his hands did this. And the interesting thing is, this is in a moment of pure joy, of extreme happiness for him. He says, I could feel like I take on the world right now. And yet, in the final panel, he's feeling overwhelming dread and hatred and anger. And he is always angry, always violent, always everything dark and depressing. I'm wondering if his quirk could be used differently under a different mindset. I mean, here it's pure joy that activated it. Would it be different if it was joy? Would it be different if it was happiness? I'm honestly not sure. But that could definitely be something interesting down the road. I've theorized before they're going to find a way to redeem him. Well, not the him he is now, but they'll use Eri to bring him back to who he was before all this, or they'll go back in time and change things, or do something. It just feels like he can't die without some sort of redemption. So that would be interesting. Also, get a very interesting scene with Reed Destro. He explains his ability Burden, where he literally turns his own stress into a projectile weapon and shoots it out. It is quite literally the most powerful and deadly pinnacle of his meta ability. It's something he's trained for his entire life. It's something that's completely unavoidable, that can't be stopped. And yet Shigaraki literally ran headfirst into it and used his powers to turn the stress into dust. He literally destroyed this man's stress. And despite that just being absolutely insane and ridiculous and amazing, The craziest part is he ran headfirst into this attack. An attack that would have killed him. He ignored all his instincts to defend and ran forward to attack. As he said, all this man knows is how to destroy. Oh yeah, we then get a interesting shot of Redestro, who I think is growing wings. He's kind of looking more and more like a mosquito here, I gotta say. Though at the moment he kind of reminds me of the Reapers from The World Ends With You. If anyone's played that game, the design of the wings looks pretty similar. Alright, so yeah, those are my thoughts on this chapter. Next week, the dog's definitely gonna die. I really don't want to see it, but they're gonna make us see it. The dog's gonna die, and then he's gonna be like, oh my god, I activated my quirk. He's gonna run to show them, and he's gonna accidentally touch them, and they're gonna die, and they're gonna freak out and call him a monster. And just, again, I'm still a little unsure of how he's gonna manage to kill every last one of them. Though I do hope he destroys the house. That might sound cold, but I mean, the house is literally the symbol of his father's oppressive rule over him and his family. I feel like the house needs to be destroyed in order for him to move on and become a sociopathic villain. Okay, that might not make a lot of sense, but it does in my head. I still think it's something we need to see. I think we need to see this house he keeps saying rejected him just destroyed. I think it's necessary for closure, which, again, weird, but that's just how I'm looking at it. Alright, so hopefully we finally get some answers next time. Be sure to like, subscribe. Until then,
Peace.